why is the Ablekuma North parliamentary seat so important in the scheme of things? Lead data and research analyst here at Joy News, Kofi Agyei, joins me in studio to explain it all with the data. And Kofi, when I see you, I see the numbers, I hear the analyses. What are the numbers saying? So
Ablekuma, and as it stands now, it looks like a paradox. We don't know where the in fact, the voters are going to go when the rerun actually comes up on Friday. But we understand that the MPP says that they will not participate in this. But it's a contest between these two, women, giants, who are actually battling it out to see who will actually lead Ablekuma North in this parliament. And we understand, if you look at what Kofi herself has been saying, she says that she believes that she won the 2024 election by 414 votes. And she believes that she should be the MP for Ablekuma North. But, I mean, Irab Nawabin says that she believes she's also going to fight. She doesn't think that Kofi actually won the election and the NDC should actually be declared the winner of the election. Now, it is interesting to actually analyze the dynamics of the Ablekuma North constituency. This is the constituency that we are talking about 281 polling stations and close to 122,000 registered voters. Now, we understand that currently the EC wants to rerun for 19 constituencies. We've been doing the math, and per the data we have, this gives you an average of, let's say, about 432 voters per every polling station. This simply means that in the upcoming election, you could have more than 80,000 registered voters who will be going to the polls to vote. I mean, pending the court order that will come in maybe very soon. But we also understand that you could have about 7% of the total registered voters going to vote to decide who will lead Ablekuma North. And that 7% is what both political parties are currently fighting over. But what has been the story of Ablekuma North since 1996? It has never, ever voted for the NDC. This is a safe seat for the MPP, and that is why, I mean, you could understand why they believe this is their, this is their seat. Their worst performance in Ablekuma North is about 57.6%. And going into this year's election, I mean, the projections were right that, I mean, Kofi was going to win the election by some 60% because they believe that although she will be affected by the sense of the central government, she is going to maintain that seat. But what you see here when you look at the data is the closing of the gap when you look at it between 2016 and 2020. It was clear that the NPP's popularity in Ablekuma North was dwindling, and the gap was actually closing, but nobody thought that it was going to boil down or go down to just about, let's say, 414 votes that Kofi claims she actually won.
What we saw in 1996.
Absolutely. So you see, many said that the 2024 election actually reset the country back to the 1996 situation and 2000. Exactly. Now, this is why Ablekuma North again is important. What is the the demography of that area? If you look at it on this black space, you might think that just about 121,000 voters. But if you break it down, you understand why the NPP has been dominating in this area. It's simply because this is a constituency that has about 58% of its population being Akan. Just about 20% are Gadang-based. You have about 10% being Eves, and remaining tribes being about 2%. So definitely you understand why the NPP has been ruling Ablekuma North for since 1996. And this has been the safe seat for the party. It was being run by the Battels family before Kofi actually came on board and all of that. That tells you why the party believes that they possibly won in 2024. But the question is, if you really have that strong, control over Ablekuma North, then why don't you allow for a rerun? It's because they know the circumstances. Currently, the government is enjoying goodwill. You can see what is happening at the pumps. You can see the dollar also gaining some momentum. Inflation is down. So many improvements. And there's that goodwill behind the government. So if you run any election,
those who voted for you might not vote
there's high likelihood that the incumbent government will actually win. And in fact, if you look at how the gap has closed in the 2024 election, it makes it even trickier for the MPP to go into this.
And it's even trickier, Kofi, that is divided along party lines.
Absolutely.
But let's go